Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have a very special card making video for you today. Today is the release of this amazing mini card collection from the Not Too Shabby shop. I was invited to be a part of the hop and receive the kit to make some cards with. I love this kit. Where are my boy mamas at? This is so good. So I'm showing you all of these gorgeous papers. These are 6x6 papers. There are two each, I believe, yes. Two of each pattern, and they are double-sided. So lots and lots and lots of options for card making. These pattern paper packs are very much like the pattern paper packs from Brutus Monroe, so the same weight and the same kind of semi-glossy feel to them. In addition to the 6x6 paper pack, this little mini card making bundle has these 2x2 inch square die cuts. Each die cut has a different outdoors activity on them. So some are hiking, some are fishing, some are camping. And I absolutely love them as focal points for cards. Super easy. In addition to the die cuts and the paper pack, in this little mini collection, there is also a sentiment stamp that has the cutest sentiments. I'll read them off to you and tell you more about them, and a set of enamel dots. But let's get started on making our cards. I also had this little sentiment stamp that was included in my package, and I did pull it out thinking I might use it, but in the end I didn't need to. So I am going to make 3 cards in my video today, and they are my favorite kind of cards because they feature lots of layers of pattern paper, a beautiful focal image, and a cute sentiment. And that is all I need to make a card. Do I love to color? Yes. Do I love to use all the mixed media stuff, the stencils and the glazes and all of that? Absolutely. Do I also really like to layer up some gorgeous pattern paper, add a focal image, a cute stamp sentiment, and call it done? Yes. So that's what we're going to do today. Because I'm making these cards really nice and simple, and I'm just using some cardstock from my stash and just the elements in this kit, that is going to add to the ability for me to go ahead and do 3 cards because I'm making them really easy. My first card is just going to feature 2 of the pattern papers as the main papers on my card, and then I'm going to grab this third darker paper and mat my focal image onto that paper. Then I'm going to stamp the sentiment inside of my card. So I'm going to grab my Misty. I chose some dark green ink. This is spruce ink from Catherine Pooler. That's what we're going to use for the inside of the card for our sentiment. So the focal image that I chose for the front is of a man fishing. So for the inside, I chose the sentiment, keep calm and go fishing. I'm going to stamp that twice to get a nice, crisp, dark sentiment on the inside of the card. Again, I'm using spruce ink from Catherine Pooler, and these stamps from the Not Too Shabby shop are photopolymer, so they stamp really crisp and clean and beautiful. So once I had the inside stamped, I'm going to take all those layers I've already chosen. I'm going to go ahead and adhere them to the front of the card. Because this paper does have that coating, that same kind of coating that Brutus Monroe paper packs do, and actually Paper Rose Studio has similar. Theirs is a little more matte. But I find that my Kikoyo tape runner doesn't like to stick to that paper, so I have been relying on my Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive Wet Glue to do all of the gluing and adhering with these types of papers. At first, I will admit that when I started using these types of papers, they maybe weren't my favorite, but after being a part of so many companies and using these papers over and over again, the weight of them, the way that they take some mixed media, and just the look when it's all finished looks very professional, and I find myself loving them more and more. So I'm just going to get that focal point right there, and then I'm going to grab the enamel dots. Again, keeping these cards simple, I wanted to stick to this bundle. I wanted to make sure that if all you did was run over to the Not Too Shabby shop and purchase this bundle, you could make my cards without too much extra expense or extra products. So there is card number 1. Now let's go ahead and we will get started on card number 2. In the description box below, you will find a link to this brand new masculine bundle. And the link that you will find in the description box is an affiliate link, which means if you use that link and you purchase anything from the shop, you will not be charged any extra money, but it is a huge help and support to my channel. I am, again, for my second card, just doing what I do best, cutting some strips and some layers of paper to be able to use on my card. This video is also part of a hop, so if you want lots and lots of inspiration using this card kit, I highly recommend checking out the videos in the description box below and the playlist where all the videos will be for you to just hit play all and go for tons of inspiration. One of my personal favorite card makers, Christy Marcotte, is on this hop. She also got this gorgeous kit, and she is the queen of beautifully layered cards. So I highly recommend checking out everyone on this hop. Once I had cut down all the patterns I wanted to use, I decided for this one, I wanted to make the focal point a little bit larger, and I wanted to include my sentiment right on the front of the card. So I grabbed some kind of lunch bag, craft paper that has a little bit of a texture to it. I added the focal point to my card, to that paper, that cardstock, and then underneath, I want to make sure that I leave myself enough room at the bottom to stamp my sentiment. So I chose the ephemera piece that has a little camping scene with a nice fire. And then I am going to go ahead and place that into my MISTI, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment, "Come get lost with me," underneath the die cut square. When I am creating layered cards like this and I'm cutting down full sheets of paper, my favorite way to do this is with scraps. But if I don't have that available to me, in the case with this, I tend to go for 1/4 and 1/2 inch strips. I also like a 3x4 block or a 2.5 by 5 1/4 block. Those are some of the measurements. And what I do is I kind of know those measurements in my head after doing this, and I just take the patterns I want to use, cut them down to those types of measurements, and then I have a play, and I kind of layer them up, and I move things around until I have come up with a design that I enjoy. So for this one, I decided that I used a small 3x5 inch strip behind my focal point and kind of offset it. And then below my focal point, I just added 3 strips of pattern paper. And each of these strips are about 1/4 inch smaller. So the largest one is 1 inch. And then the next one is 1/2 inch. And then the next one is 1/4 inch. And that just gave me that lovely extra pop of pattern across the bottom of the card. And it also gave me a place for my die cut square and sentiment to kind of rest on. I am going to add a couple of enamel dots to this card as well, but I'm going to add them in a little bit of a different way. So usually when I add enamel dots, they're 3 and they're in the shape of a triangle and they're kind of just accenting. For this, I added them more in a row. So there's going to be 2 in the top left square that are one on top of the other, and then a 3 on the bottom. And then I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that to a white card base. You can kind of see the enamel dots there. Make sure everything is nice and adhered down, and then we can move on to card number 3. Card number 3, we're going to flip the script a little bit and make a landscapes card instead of a portrait style card. So for this one, I'm going to have my background piece, and then I kept this card design really nice and simple. So all I did was I am taking 2 patterns I really loved. I am cutting them into 2 by 3 rectangles, and I am going to place them together right beside each other on my card panel. And then I'm going to place one of those square die cut pieces right there in the center. I'm going to stamp my sentiment on the inside of this card again, and the sentiment I'm going to use on this one is wander where the Wi-Fi is weak. I will tell you, as I stamp this right now, I absolutely cannot get enough of these sentiments that are in this kit. The sentiments might be my favorite. They are, the typography that was used to create them is just so cute and so fun. And that Catherine Pooler Spruce ink is a perfect coordinating color to go with this lovely kit. So once I had my sentiment stamped on the inside, I'm just going to put all of those layered pattern papers on the front. Again, the first layer of pattern paper is 4 by 5 1/4, then 2 by 3 rectangles centered, and then I just centered the die cut piece. And for this die cut, I chose a hiking one. So here are all 3 of the cards, and here are all of the close-ups. Be sure to head down to the description box. You will find all the information for where you can get one of these card kits for yourself. And also, you will find a link to the playlist for lots of fun inspiration using this kit. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.